Welcome back to the Coug Connect podcast. We are frozen in time watching Clara. This is why live is the best. Honestly, like this is why live is the best. But we're frozen in time watching Clara play a video game. And you can see the microphone floating. I'm actually behind. Oh, there I am. Okay, there we go. But we just want to quickly shout out our sponsors before we get started. Our kind of flagship partner here is Chubby's. If you haven't been to Chubby's, get in there. Best burgers and fries everywhere. Chris, you've been behind the scenes at Chubby's. You're one of the few people who's been like back behind the grill and seen everything. What did you think of that little experience we had this summer?
Everything was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the shakes. It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's not bad. But everything's fresh, right? Everything's like fresh, handmade, as much of it as more than you'd expect. So yeah, go visit Chubby's. They do a ton to support the Cougars. They do a ton in NIL. I like the freeze frame. I think I look cute in the freeze frame right there on this live stream. I'd look so cute. But anyways, Chubby's, and then Miracle Bowl. If you haven't gotten to Miracle Bowl, it's getting colder. They're still on the ground. Ask Gabe. We'll ask Gabe about it. Maybe as we kick this off, we'll get Gabe's take on the weather. And get into Miracle Bowl where it's nice and warm and they have delicious pizza and bowling opportunities, video games, arcade. And Carrick Home Design, who has done a lot from poster deals to posting deals to all kinds of deals to support the players. And they also sponsor these streams. Go support them. Follow them on Instagram if you haven't. See the beautiful homes they're designing. We want to shout out SaveDamien.com. If you don't know already, which I'm hoping most Cougar fans do and have donated, Damien's a young boy with a terminal illness, trying to raise money to get the treatments to save his life. Please go check it out, learn about it, support that family. We love the Markham family out there. SaveDamien.com. And Coug Connect. All this isn't possible without our subscribers at Coug Connect or the people at Coug Connect hitting up sponsors and networking with people to get the players as much NIL money as we can for their services, whether it's posting, interacting with fans, fan events, all that stuff. Okay, so that's it. That's our sponsors. We're going to pass it off to the host, the face, the legend, Gabe Jeudy-Lally, and we're going to get his take on the weather, I think, to start it off. Gabe, take it away.
So this weather sucks. Like, full-blown sucks. I woke up this morning and I had to go to lift. And my non-cold weather self, I didn't have an ice scraper or anything like that, so I whipped out my iPhone charger, the big block, and scraped the top of my windshield probably a box this big, and then was like, all right, we're gonna blast the AC or the heat to the windshield. And I drove like this for the first 10 minutes, but I had 6 minutes to get to lift, so I was just pushing it. So by the time I got there, my windshield was finally defrosted, but I was a dangerous liability on the road this morning if I had to hit a van with you.
It ain't even got bad yet.
I don't need to know bad because it's bad enough.
Real bad, real soon.
This is bad enough. That's all I'm gonna say about this. But
Chris is a seasoned veteran with the smell.
Yeah,
I don't know.
2 years, 2.5. Yeah, it's gonna watch.
Yeah, then watch.
14-degree weather.
I'm gonna be.
You can't wait for.
I'm be chilling at home fast as possible. Where it's gonna be 75 on Christmas. It'll be nice. It'll be real nice. But we got Chris on today, and Chris's story is a little bit interesting. And right now he's rocking with the D boys a little bit, so it's nice to have him on our side. Giving us insights, making us better football players. But tell us a little bit about how you got here. I know you were previously somewhere else. I got a boy that went to school with you. Talk about just your journey here to BYU and then the stuff that's culminated while you've been here.
Well, I think most people know my story, how I got here. Like I say, it was a struggle for sure, but it definitely made me a better person and definitely increased my work ethic. It made me respect the game and not take it for granted. But yeah, man, just JUCO life, then here, then it's a crazy story. I'm gonna be honest, but most people know the JUCO story, what I have to go through just to get to college football, D1 football.
What about this past offseason and what happened and just the whole and what's going on right now?
So, as everyone knows, I definitely tried to transfer. only because, at the end of the day, it's a business and sometimes you gotta do what's best for yourself. Sometimes when you make choices, you really just gotta live with them. So with that being said, I definitely tried to transfer, hit the portal, and I was committed to University of Hawaii. They couldn't take me because they couldn't accept my community college classes, and luckily, Fessy and Coach Kalani, they told me we can put you on Built Bar scholarship, but we can't put you on full. But we got something for you if push come to shove. So I'm grateful that they gave me another chance to like come back and play football. And yeah, at the beginning, I had to miss the first 4 games because of NCAA rules. I had to miss the first 4 games, so I was doing scout team that whole time. Really just using that time to get better and really just doing what I can just to help the defense. And came back, was playing receiver for a little bit. Yeah, it just Coach Kalani came up to me. He was just like, "We need you at free safety. That's like the best spot for you right now for you to see the field." So in the beginning, I was kind of like I wasn't really trying to do all that because I'm a receiver at heart. I'm gonna just throw that out there. I've been training. I've been doing receiver since I was a little kid. I'm a wide receiver. But it's not about me. It's about the team. So I'm gonna do what I have to do to help the team. And then I had made the decision to move to safety. In the beginning, I told Kalani, I was like, nah, like I'm gonna stay here. Then I decided to move to free safety. I was learning it too. I was starting to get it down, and then Coach G told me they want you at corner. And one thing about corner, a lot of people don't know. If you never played corner, it is probably one of the hardest positions in football. Why? Because you're reacting off the receiver. So you got to read body language. You got to have a technique. You got to have multiple techniques, really like different types of techniques, because a receiver, he studies tendencies, he studies techniques. And if you play one technique, a receiver is going to notice that. So a corner has to literally master multiple different types of techniques so the receiver doesn't pick up how he plays. And I haven't played corner in about 7 years. That's a long time. So really the advantage I have right now is just my athletic ability and just knowing how a receiver thinks and knowing body language and knowing just concepts and just knowing little stuff like that, just IQ really. But as far as like technique wise, yeah, corner is definitely harder than receiver. It's one of the hardest positions. It's not a position you can just jump to and just do good at. It's something you have to really train for. Like your feet got to be good, your hips got to be good because you're reacting. You got to be like twitchy. It's a lot that goes into it. So yes, I've made the transition. We got 4 games left, so I'm trying to like pick up as much information as possible and do what I can to help the team. Coach G asked me to move to corner, and like I said, I'm just trying to do what I can to help the team. If they feel like it's gonna help the team, then I'm gonna do it. But yeah, man, I'm just going with the flow, really.
Yeah, no, I kind of like what you said. Like, it's a position that not everybody can like jump into. Like a lot of guys, like a lot of safeties, like, oh, I can come down and I can play corner. Like, I don't know if you ever heard the saying, like, every square is a rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square. Mm-hmm. Any corner can move and play safety. Yes. But not any safety can come and play corner, because there's some dudes that are just like not built for that type of life and that type of grind.
Put it this way. If I knew a guy just moved to corner and he hasn't played corner in years, I'm going to destroy him. I'm going to kill him only because I know his technique isn't that sharp. I know that he has to react off me. It's just DB. It takes years to master. That's why DBs get paid more than receivers. A lot of them do, because it's a hard position. It's so much that you have to like know and look out for. When they motion, sometimes they'll change. Like, you'll be in cover 2, you'll be in man, and then they motion, you'll drop to cover 2. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but yeah, it's not an easy position. It's not something you can just go to and just do good. Like, it takes a minute to start getting the feel of it.
No, I will say though, like, in your short time there, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that first little session we tried to do with you, I was like, oh, it's gonna be rough for my guy. But you've actually picked it up pretty well. I mean, right, you're right. Like, athletic ability comes into the fold as well. But I mean, we got freshmen that haven't played it right for actually ever, not even like 7 years, and yeah. I think that you're picking it up better than they are too. I mean, of course you've played ball like in college and everything like that, but you're right, corner is just really hard to learn, and so it's cool to see you be able to do that. And G's a guy that's going to throw out guys that like he trusts, and like you're going to receive, like he already gives you the reps where he doesn't care. He tells you go in there and whatever the case is. Because at the end of the day, like if something happens, he's gonna be like, hey, like Chris has been in a game before. Like I'm gonna do that instead of like, you know, some guys are playing the red shirt card at this moment in time. So, some guys are what's it called? Just the lights are too bright at this moment in time for them to be thrown into the game. And at least you're gonna go out there and you're definitely just gonna give it your all. So I definitely appreciate that. And like with that being said, this week we got another opponent. I think a pretty darn good opponent. I know from what Kalani was saying, they talked about how they wanted to go beat a Big 12 opponent, and they demolished UCF last week after UCF scored 70 points the week before. So they're a pretty good opponent. I got a good friend that plays tight end, wide receiver over there, Ryan Jones, known as his high school. He's one of their flex guys. They throw the ball 55 times a game. They're gonna go out there and they're gonna throw it 5-10 yards and hope to make big plays. What do you think from what you've seen so far? Getting your perspective from what you've seen in film so far on their wide receivers and stuff like that.
As far as like the team we about to go against?
Yeah.
I really think we're gonna come a lot harder this week as far as like a team. Like, I think we're gonna play a lot different than what people have seen. Like, cause just based off the talk we've had, like little meetings we had, I'm pretty sure like we don't want to take another L like that again. So I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be on their P's and Q's with this team. It's not a team we're going to underestimate, but I feel like we're going to come out extremely hard when it comes to this game.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that too. I mean, I feel like we've just been in a little bit of a lull. Like, not even that, like, I mean, of course we're playing bad, but there's a difference between, like, playing bad because we're, like, just playing bad ball. But I feel like it's been, like, with a lull on top of it, we're like, damn, like, we need to play better. But instead of like saying we need to play better and making actions about it right now, we're just like, we need to play better, but we're not putting like any effort behind it at this moment in time.
Okay.
But I mean, every week's a new week, and I think that this being a shorter week kind of puts a benefit to us because we don't have as long as a time to sulk on whatever happened last week. We got to play a game on Friday. We got walkthrough on Thursday. We got 2 days to really get it right, and at the end of the day, if we don't get it right, then we're not going to like the result that happened on Friday night.
Yeah.
You know, Halloween's coming in town this week too. You know, I'm trying to have a good Halloween. Like, if I had to keep it a band with you, like, I'm trying to have some fun, like Freaky Friday. You know, you feel me?
Jesus.
And like win a game, and you know, from there build a momentum. Because look, we're 2 wins away from a bowl game. We can't underestimate any team that we're gonna play, but we got to take it a week at a time. I think we take this week and we capitalize on this opportunity to play this game on a Friday. We're a team that's coming up here, and as much as I hate the cold, maybe it's going to be a good, you know, factor for us, a little bit of cold home field advantage. You know, they've been playing over there by the beach. It's been nice for them. You know, they've been playing, yeah, I know Greenville really, really well. So hopefully it'll be good for us. I think it's kind of harder to throw the ball all over the field when it's cold, especially when the aspect we might be 20 degrees when we play. So I think it'll be good. It'll be good for us, you know. We're gonna throw some stuff out there that they definitely haven't seen yet this season. I mean, everybody's kind of does around the same things when it comes to the air raid, drop 8, whatever the case is. But I mean, I think we personally have better football players than them, and now we have to be able to prove it. Like, right now, it's just on paper it might look that way, but we have not been showing it on the field. So that's what I think. What do you think that we got to do? Since you got an offensive brain, what do you think we got to do on offense? And then I'll come around. I think what we got to do on defense for us to win this football game.
Just think on offense, we really just. I normally send like a text message out to the receivers. I didn't do it for the past 2 games, and I don't know if that like affected them. But normally when I send a text message out, we win. But I ain't done it in 2 games. But I always tell them, like, play for each other. Like, I always use an example. If my little brother is out there and I have to block for him, ain't nobody touching me. None of my brothers are. I told them that's how we got to be when y'all playing with each other on the field. Like, when y'all blocking for each other, you got to play for each other. And really just, I told them, like, yeah, the love and learning stuff is great. I'm a loving person myself sometimes. But at the same time, you got to have a switch. I tell the offense, you got to have a switch. You got to be able to turn to a different person almost. Like, it's cool, but we're on the field. Like my mentality is, it is what it is. Whatever happens, if I was to lay a hit on someone, whatever happens, happens. I'm probably not gonna care what happens to him. Sad to say, like I'm gonna feel bad, but at the end of the day, it's like it's football. And that's why I tell the offense, like we can't really. They don't respect us. Like they don't respect y'all. They don't care nothing about y'all. So right now, like when we go on the field, it's all that friends and all that stuff is out the window. We can be cool after, but during the game, like nah, we gotta destroy every opponent that gets in front of us. So I just think the offense, if they come out like that with that mentality, we should be fine. We really should be fine.
I think wise, right? It just like sucks to continually say, but at the end of the day, like we have proceeded for at least the last couple games, but even like for the beginning of the season, like we haven't put together a full game. We either play really well in the first quarter, or we play really well for 3 quarters, or we play really well for 2 quarters, right? I think we just need to be able to that confidence that we played with at Baylor just needs to come out again, because we played a team that was supposed to come in here and run all over us. They averaged 2.1 yards a carry on 50 carries for 150 yards. Like it was ridiculous. Like they couldn't even get anything done. Right? They might not be having their greatest season either, but I mean at that moment in time they're a good ranked team, and I think that we need to get back to doing that type of ball. It doesn't mean scheme-wise, but I mean that type of passion and effort that we're playing with. And also, I think we got to take it a little bit personally. Like, whatever they said about, beating the dog crap out of UCF because they want to show, like, they should be in a Power 5 conference. Like, all right, like, that was them. Like, you guys battle the beaches, that's cool. Y'all can play or whatever the case is. But, like, y'all got to come up here where it's pretty darn cold, and, like, you got to show us that you can really manhandle us and beat us. And I think that we definitely won't get manhandled anymore. That is ridiculous. And I think that we're going to, just like you said, the little conversations that we had, I think defensive-wise will turn around. And, if we can get a spark on special teams like Hobbs did for that Notre Dame game, that was good for us. I think little things like that will definitely help us out to be able to cohesively blend offense, defense, special teams, and get it going. But, I mean, what do you guys think, or what questions do you guys have for us that we can get to?
Let's jump into that a little bit, actually, Gabe, because your guys' coach a lot likes to talk about playing complementary football, offense, defense, and special teams, and that's complementary, not complimentary. So that doesn't mean you're saying thank you, sir, yes, sir, good job, sir, after every play, but you're complimenting one another. What does that mean to you guys? Chris, as somebody who's come over from the offense to the defense, and then Gabe as a full-time defender, what's it mean to play complementary football, offense, defense, and special teams?
You go first. You get both perspectives, and then I'll give an anecdote.
You mean like just being on both sides of the ball, like?
Yeah. What does complementary football mean to you guys? Like kind of blending the 3 phases of the game, I guess.
That's a good question. Yeah, you might be first.
All right, I'll go first.
That's a good question.
Well, this is something I've maybe heard. I've had 3 head coaches now in 4 years, right? Had a lot of defensive coordinators, had a lot of different guys in my boat, and like I know exactly what it means. It means that whatever the offense gives us, right, it doesn't matter good, bad, or indifferent. We have to be able to pick them up or continue that same energy, right? Whatever the special teams gives us, if they put us in a good spot or in a bad spot, we have to be able to dig out of that hole. We have to be able to capitalize on that momentum that they've given us. Complementary football doesn't just mean that both sides of the ball, or all 3 phases of the football, are all playing like their best possible ball at the same time. This means that you're supposed to pick up your brother when they're down, and show what exactly why you're on the same team together and why you guys want to get the same result. And right now, I think that it's either, we're not playing that well defensively, the offense is playing lights out, and we're not helping them out, so we're not playing complementary football, or both sides are playing not that good, and the special teams is, doing their thing and flipping the field, but we're still not getting results. I think that we have to be able to look each other in the eye and be like, hey, Jaron, it's all good. You guys are not scoring, it's all good. We're going to keep it held down on our side. Just like in the Baylor game, we weren't particularly scoring the ball every single time. It was a low-scoring game, but the defense is like, all right, we'll get you 4 stops in a row. Okay, you score right before half, cool, we're going to get the ball back. All right, you guys go score again, and then that's the same thing. Like, that's what complementary football means to me. And I've been on 2 different football teams. I've been with 3 different head coaches, and like it's hard when you lose that, right? It's super hard to gain it, but it's even harder after you gained it and lost it. But once the spark's back, after that, I think that we'll get it going. And I think at this moment in time, we just need to put it together for a couple drives. Even if it's one half, then people will be able to get to believe that we can do it. But putting it together for 1 quarter doesn't show that, because we put it together for about 1 quarter at Liberty, but we didn't continue that for the rest of the game. So if we can put it together for the rest of the game, I think that will help us out. But that's my 2 cents on the situation. What about you?
Literally what you said. I'm not gonna lie. Literally what you said was kind of like spot on. I just want to throw out there though, just for all the fans, defense is not easy. Just throw that out there. Why? Because if in coverages, there's always weak spots. If the other team notices those weak spots in any coverage, they're gonna hit those weak spots. It's like it's a war. It's really a battle. Like you're hitting and hitting these dudes is 230 pounds. Like it don't feel good. It hurts, and you got people grabbing on you, like trying to block you. Like it takes a lot of strength and just IQ. And like I said, like it's not defense. It's not offense isn't easy either, but defense is like they sometimes just being on defense. Like you have to let them catch a certain pass because that's not your zone, and then you just got to come down to it. That's like 10 yards. That's like 10 yards right there, and you got to make the tackle. If it's open field, you don't make the tackle. He just broke for about another 10 yards. He just had 30 yards right there. It's a lot that goes into it. I just want to throw that out there real quick. It's not easy.
Well, Chris, let's explore that a little bit, because like I don't want you to give away game plans or anything. Don't detail schemes for me or anything like that. But what was maybe the hardest thing that you had to not just learn, but maybe retrain yourself, retool your brain in some ways, making that move from wide receiver to defensive backs? Like, was there something really that stuck out where you kind of felt like you were drinking from a fire hose in some ways? Like, okay, I just gotta kind of flip my thinking, I guess.
Really, just I know for me, this is when I was at free safety. I was actually talking to Malik about it. I was just like, if they run a post in a deep over, can I bait it? He said, no, you can't. You have to go with the post, because if you don't, he's gonna hit the post. So even if you're right, you're wrong.
Your butt.
Yeah, exactly. He gonna be pissed off. So it's like even if you're right, you're wrong. So offense can make you wrong. They can make you go with something, and that's your zone. You gotta go with it. Because if you don't, then they're just gonna throw it there. And if you go with it, then they're gonna throw it there. So it's like you literally just gotta be an athlete. Like go with your zone, and if they throw it to the over or something like that, you gotta just get to it. I just think that was like the hard part for me, because I know what the offense is trying to do, and just knowing that I have to go with this route, and I know this route is open. It's like, dang, like they're gonna catch it either way. It's a lot that goes into it.
Coach Gabe, I'm gonna ask you, put on your coaching hat again.
Yeah.
Gabe Jeudy-Lally. Looking over at your fellow DB now, a guy who's making the transition over from offense. He's been in the room now a couple of weeks. What's something that Chris has done really well as he's made that move over to this side of the ball? And maybe let's go with a little tough love. What do you see that he's working on, that he's really working on, quite a bit right now these days?
Oh, I think something that I definitely noticed that Chris does really well is like he doesn't have to particularly know the concept of what we're doing 100%, but he's always gonna react really well to the ball being thrown and stuff like that. He knows, like you said, he knows mannerisms of wide receivers. He understands what he thinks he's gonna see, right? And it's been really cool to see he might not actually play the correct technique, but he's there. He's always there, and it's hard to be able to sticky coverage is something that is hard to come by. There are a lot of guys that don't know what they're doing, but are always by the wide receiver, so the quarterback never wants to throw it. But there are a lot of guys that truthfully do know what they're doing and are just never there, and you're always wondering what is going on? You can recite to me everything that's happening, but you're not in the right spot. So it's cool to see Chris doesn't have to have all the answers, written down on paper, but he's showing us that he can still I in my personal opinion, I wouldn't be scared if I needed to spill and Chris was the only guy we got, do it. He can go in there and give us 5 plays where I need to recover. Like, and it's not going to be like, oh, they're about to target him. Oh, if they target him, cool. He's going to show out. I think the thing that he definitely needs to work on right now, I mean, which is the hardest thing to do, and you got to have a lot of tools in your toolbox, which something I try to improve on every single day, is press man coverage. Like, at the end of the day, that is the hardest thing I think that you can do on the football field.
Yes.
Like, just like Chris said, like I got 4 to 5 different press techniques depending on who I'm going against, really depending on how my legs are feeling that day, depending on my confidence level, because playing press man, not playing corner, I don't think corner in its whole self comes down to confidence, but playing press man comes down to overall confidence. So if that day, like, I'm like, my hard bump is not there today. Like, I'm going to have to soft shoot. But that means I'm going to be more susceptible to inside release. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have to deal with that one today. And, watch the film and be like, okay, when my legs get right, I'm going to have to be able to do this, right? And I think it comes a little bit hard. Like, right now there's a lot of stuff being said about how we're playing on defense and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, truthfully, even myself, I've never coached a football game, and I've never played in the NFL. And, like, unless you've done 2 of those things, like, I don't even care if you've played college football, because college football is different across the country. Until you've done those 2 things, like, don't comment on what we're doing, because, like, for you to be able to scheme up what's happening against somebody else, like, offense is a game of chess, defense is a game of reaction. It's not chess back and forth, because based off what I do, like, everybody, like, if you've watched Queen's Gambit, right? Somebody starts off with their first move, right? Like, from there, the offense is like, okay, they're in cover 4. We know that this spot, and this spot's a drop zone. It's a dead zone. We can throw it there. All we have to do is make sure the defense is moving away from there, right? On defense, we're like, okay, we're in cover 4. They're going to probably try to throw it in these 4 areas. If we can be better football players and get to the quarterback before they can throw it in that area, then cool. That's what we're going to do. Or if they're going to throw it to that area and we punch the ball out, all right, then it's our game, and we get the ball back to the offense. So, like, for those that want to comment on what's going on, like show me proof and evidence that you have done it at a major level, and then we can definitely talk about it. But at this moment in time, if you're just a spectator of the sport, I love your opinions, but you can go to bed with those ones, if I have to be honest with you.
Exactly. To piggyback on that, it's like, it takes a lot to go hit someone, let everything go black, a flash of white light,
For real.
catch yourself because you're dazed.
Oh yeah.
And then get back to playing. And that happens probably like 2 or 3 times. Getting hit, everything going black. All you hear is the crowd. Everybody's yelling. Everything's black. You open your eyes. Everything is staggering. And then still having a mindset to do it again for 3 hours. It's not everybody can do it. You can literally die from this sport. You really can.
Chris, are you implying that defensive guys are, I'm not going to say tougher because I'll get the offensive guys all over me, but are you implying that defensive guys are more physical than offensive guys?
Other than the front, yeah. Other than up front.
The front, sure. We need to give love to the guys
boys
up
in the
front,
trenches.
for sure.
They work their ever living butts off.
Yeah.
But a wide receiver ain't no way he's tougher than me. There's just 100% to this day. Like, I respect you, and like you catch the ball across the middle, you take a tough hit. Like, yeah, but I'm gonna say like 7 times out of 10, it's head tap. Let me get out.
We got a challenge here. I'm
laying the wood, and it hurts just as much, but I can't head tap because like the next guy behind me might not be adequate.
I really think it depends on the receiver. Because you look at a guy like Steve Smith. If you guys know, I know.
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
know Steve
Oh,
Smith.
yeah.
I personally know Steve Smith.
I don't know him personally.
He's tough.
But if you look at a
He's
guy like
tough.
Steve Smith, he feeds off stuff like that. A person like me, like, I kind of like it. Like, I kind of like being like hit. It kind of like, I don't know. It just, because I played defense in high school and I was the one delivering the hit. So being hit, getting hit or taking a hit, I like it. I like to get up and like keep going. But I would say defenses, I would say they're probably, I ain't gonna say tougher.
I'll give us grimy. I'll give us
because
we're way more
when
grimy.
it's a running back that's 230 pounds running a 4.3 at you, trying to run you over, you feel that. I mean, I haven't hit against. I have USC, but that's a lot of weight coming at you, and just also you got linemen pulling, trying to knock your head off. Linemen
That's
like
the worst.
6'8",
That's the
300
worst.
pounds.
thing
They're trying to hurt you. They're not trying to play with you. They're trying to get you out the way. Sometimes like when they hit you, they'll fall on you too, and just so I would say like, yeah, but mentality wise, I think a defensive player is much tougher because you gotta have something different in you because you can, like I said, this is a dangerous sport. You can hit somebody the wrong way and become paralyzed. Like we know what comes with it.
Yeah.
So I think just being a defensive player, like for one, you can't shy away from no hits. You can't do that. If a dude coming at you, it's head on collision, not head on, but it's body to body collision, and anything can happen. Anything, like literally anything, and you just gotta be able to accept what comes with it. So defense mentality wise, I think they're tougher. Physical wise, it's like strength. Just depends.
I'm not talking about strength.
Mentally,
Yeah.
mentally, yeah, because it takes a lot. And also, just being a corner, you can get a ball caught on you. You gotta have short-term memory. You gotta be able to just shake it off and keep going. You can get ran over, stiffed arm. You gotta be able to shake it off and keep going. So mentally, defensively, you gotta be tough for sure.
Yeah, like on that point, like I always like try to tell the young guys, like might be a vulgar like analogy, but like when you go use the bathroom and you take a shit, like you don't just leave it there, right, and just let it stink up the whole house. You flush it, right, because you want it to be over, right? So at the end of the day, like if I let a bad play happen and I just think about it and think about it and think about it, it messes up the whole day. It stinks up the whole house. So at the end of the day, like I have to be able to flush that and get back to whatever I was doing. Because like the dude that started his first ever NFL game on Thursday night or something like that, it was versus the Chargers. He went out there and he had 4 pass interference calls on him for like 112 yards. After the first one, you're like, okay, whatever. The second one, you're thinking about it. The third one, you know it's already messed up your whole day. The fourth one, like that is ridiculous, but it's because he was thinking about it all day, but they didn't have anybody else to put in the game. If he would have understood, like, hey, these guys are faster than what I experienced in college, so I'm gonna have to adjust my technique. That wouldn't have happened, and his team would have had a better opportunity to win the game. But it didn't happen that way, and so, he took one against the team and hurt the team at the end of the day.
Well, I think that bleeds into really well from the chat. Guy named Brandon, we're just going to leave it at that, wants to know if Chris's days as the ultimate jet sweeper are done now that he's with Gabe in the DB room. Are you done with those jet sweeps?
To be honest, it's really up to the coaches. I just follow directions. It's really up to them. I think I was pretty good at jet sweeps.
I can confirm. I can confirm.
I was pretty good at it. And once I break free, I ain't getting caught on foot. I'll promise you that. But I mean, it's really up to the offense. If they want to use me for that, then that's fine. I'm really just doing what I can to help the team. Really, I mean, it's really up to them. They ain't told me nothing. So,
Gabe, if you get the ball for one play on offense, just one random play, are you going end around on the jet sweep or are you going up the middle? Since we're talking physicality here.
I'm being honest with you. I'm not jet sweeping or I'm going up the middle. You're going to have to. Yeah, Chris can attest to this. Aren't I quick off the line?
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to get, I'm gonna have to go deep. You're going to have to throw it deep to me. I don't even know.
Fade Gabe.
I'm post game.
Post.
Yeah,
post.
I'm trying to bang my head on the goalpost. That's what I'm trying to do.
Post Gabe.
Yeah.
Hashtag post Gabe. We're gonna get you one play on offense this year. That's my goal.
Oh, dude.
I'll talk
Utah
to
Tech,
Fessy.
throw me in on offense. I'll really do someone in.
I'll talk to Fessy. I'll talk to A-Rod.
I'll really do someone
Yeah, we'll
in.
get you. We gotta get
I
you.
might be the
player.
first two-way player in a minute.
Let's see. Colson from the chat wants to know. This is perfect for you, Gabe. Well, okay, I'll get to Colson's question here in a second. First of all, I see you rocking that Carhartt beanie.
Yeah.
I see you rocking the flannel.
Yeah.
It's cold outside. You don't like the cold. What was your go-to cold weather gear ensemble? What did you have to get? Because you knew you were coming into Provo. You knew you were coming into this town where it gets down to 40 or 14 degrees, like Chris said. What did you have to get? What do you got at home?
Honestly, I've lived in New York for a little bit way back when my mom's from Ukraine. Like, she knows how cold it is. So, like, I got puffers left and right. I got sweatpants left and right. But I did go buy me some, like, I guess, like, some people might consider them rain boots, but they're kind of like snowish boots. That's what I did. I got a new
brand shout out, like the Gore-Tex style, or
they look like what they look like. I don't know what they're called, but like the LL Bean boots. They look like that at some like duck hunting boots, kind of at the aspect. You know what I mean? So I bought those, and I haven't whipped them out yet. my all leather Jordans kind of do the job too, because like they don't really. It's pretty good if I'm to be honest with you. And I rubbed them all with the weather stuff.
You gotta take better care of those though.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, some of them they're a couple beaters. The ones that are good, I don't do that too. But the ones I wear every day, like definitely put them through the ringer.
Chris, what's he lacking? What's one thing he's lacking that you didn't hear out of there? Does he got to get a hat? Does he got to get a certain type of coat?
No, I think the only thing that would be useful is those scrapers to scrape off the snow.
I need that.
I think that's the only thing.
Need it. Sponsor me with a scraper, please.
Because he probably not gonna come outside. I don't come outside when it's snowing like that. Like, I only if I have to really go somewhere. But for the most part, I'd be in the house watching Disney Plus or something.
I was gonna take my dog out, man. That's
Chris,
all I gotta do.
Chris is a big She-Hulk guy. Shout out to She-Hulk.
Crib.
Shout out to Jen Walters. All right, let's get to Colson's question here, because you guys have had a couple tough results during day games last few weeks. Now you're back to playing under the lights on Friday night football, taking you back to high school, 6 p.m. Mountain Time kickoff. It's going to be cold, but it's also going to be a little bit of what you guys are used to at this school, because thank you, ESPN, right? What do you prefer? Do you like those day games? Or is there something kind of magical about playing under the lights? Let's start with Chris, and we'll go Gabe.
I like the day games, even though we didn't do so well in them. But I like it. I like the day games. I don't know. We practice during the day, so I'm kind of like I can play ball during the day. But at nighttime, it is going to be cold. I do think we have the advantage because a lot of guys are used to the cold, and the team we're going against, I don't know if they're going to be used to the cold or not. But shoot, I like the day games. But we might play better at night. I like the day games though.
We didn't get prime time at Vanderbilt because we didn't win, so it doesn't really matter to me, honestly. One thing, like, I do personally believe I got to turn it on at whatever point in time it is, so to me it doesn't really matter. For my teammates, hopefully the night will help us, catch a dub. But regardless of when you go play on Sunday, you're not going to get only one team gets the Sunday night game, and only one team gets the Monday night game, and one team gets the Thursday night game. So you better figure it out right now.
That's right. Gabe, speaking of Texas, Amy from the chat, shout out to Amy, wants you to know there are tornado warnings going on right now in Central Texas. So Amy, stay safe. Stay safe. What do you want to say to your friends back there amid those tornado warnings?
The majority is my family. Please stay safe. Stay inside. Make sure the dogs at the doggy daycare are safe as well. And I'll probably call you after this because I didn't know that. So please stay.
So Amy just said Central Texas. I don't know if she's got like a part, like a
Central Texas.
Portion.
I mean,
Texas is a big state. So
yeah, but like you do Central Texas as like Round Rock, Austin, Dripping Springs, Leander. Like that's the area. That's Central Texas. So if a tornado's coming, like that thing's gonna hit.
Pretty common and pretty common to have tornadoes coming through there, especially this time of year.
Oh no, actually not common at all.
Really?
Tornado? Yeah. Just in my area, Central Texas is the hill country, so like it's hard for a tornado to really go like this the whole time. So like that's more like Lubbock area, flat, like the desert. Dallas gets some.
Yeah, maybe it was Dallas.
Yeah, we kind of we're in the sweet spot. We're not the armpit where Houston is. We're also not as cold where it is in Dallas. Like we're kind of just right. That's why we keep Austin weird over there.
Keep Austin weird, but you know what? Shout out to the armpit, home of the World Series bound Astros.
Yeah, nah.
I know you're a big Stros guy.
I'm actually not a baseball guy in general, unless it's the Commodores.
I say that. Yeah, go Vandy.
Go Vandy boys.
Go Vandy. Yeah. I say that because Gabe's really a Rangers guy.
I'm neither.
Big Rangers guy.
Neither.
Big Rangers guy. You can tell Chris is a Dodgers guy, so that's why him and I don't.
Yeah.
That's why him and I don't get along. We don't talk baseball, but you know what? That's all right.
Honestly, like
All my friends are Dodger fans.
You know what? It's hashtag
I'm sorry
Christober.
for the Padres.
It's still
I
Christober.
would have rather the Padres go to the World Series. If I had to be honest with you, I love San Diego.
You know what? I am cheering for the Phillies right now because just anyone but Houston. Anyone but Houston.
There's anybody but the cheaters.
Yeah, anybody but the. Well, I won't hold the cheating scandal over their head for their entire.
I will.
For the. Okay. Jake will, but I'm over the Astros. I'm over them. I would have rooted for the Dodgers against the Astros, and I'm a Padres fan. I don't root for the Dodgers. but I absolutely would have rooted for them over the Astros. So, Bryce Harper, brother Harper, you know what to do. You know what to do.
Cameo in the camera right there. I'm telling you.
Let's see. Aaron says, Chris, good to see you back on the defense, Cuzzo. Have fun out there.
Appreciate it. Cuzzo. Oh, that's my cousin.
That's literally your cousin.
Aaron Coug. Yeah,
Aaron
that's my
Coug.
cousin. I was like,
Yeah.
Cuzzo.
Looking in the camera, shout out to Aaron.
Shout out to my cousin, Aaron Coug. I don't want to say his nickname, but he knows his nickname. I'm not gonna say
We'll
it.
leave that off mic, off air. Let's see. I'm trying to look through the chat right now. I thought I saw one more over here, but maybe not. Okay, I did want to ask you, Chris, and Gabe, you can jump in a little bit on this because you transferred kind of like him. What's the transfer portal like? Because I've been saying for a while that the transfer portal has like this branding problem. People think that like it's this like mystical wormhole. You step in, you step in Provo and you pop up in Honolulu magically, or like you're randomly in like Orlando or Nashville or whatever. It's really not like that. It's just like a database of names on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put your name in the portal, like walk me through kind of what the next week or two is like for you as you sort of figure out where you're gonna go, and like how are guys reaching out to you, like what kind of goes through your mind about like where should I play, that sort of thing. Like what are just kind of the immediate moments after you go into the portal like?
Well, for me, it was really just before I hit the portal, I was a little nervous because I know I've heard about some people getting stuck in the portal, like nobody never like came to get them or like offer them. For me, I kind of got a call as soon as when I hit it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like literally when I walked out the door talking to Kurt, I got a call instantly from Weber State, I believe, and yeah, that was one school. Then I started getting other calls and DMs. So it really just depends. I know schools are always looking for like experienced players, or they're always looking for like to play somebody. Sad to say it, but they're always looking for players. So it really wasn't that bad. I know a lot of guys had me a little nervous about it, but at the end of the day, I got a lot of faith. Like my faith is extremely strong. So I just told myself like, well, like I'll be alright. Like God got me in. He had me. He still do. So, but yeah, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it's just patience, really, just waiting. It's like being in the NFL. You just waiting on the team to pick you up. But yeah, it's kind of like that. I've never been in the NFL yet, but that's kind of what it's like.
Yeah, notice yet. Yeah.
Question.
It's coming.
When did you enter the transfer portal?
When did I? Oh, I think I hit it right after.
It's January, February, wasn't it?
Yes. It was right after the season.
Yeah, it was before spring ball, I remember.
For sure before
Yeah.
spring ball. Yeah.
Well,
Did the Aggies hit you up?
Who?
Utah State?
No, they were trying to, but they already had like a lot of receivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty loaded up
They
in the
were loaded.
receiver room.
I
I
guess.
don't like their fans. But
Yeah.
I don't like them.
You said Weber State was one of the first schools to reach
Yeah.
out to you after you hit the portal.
Yeah.
Any other kind of schools of note that
Georgia Southern.
they kind of reached out?
Georgia Southern. Who else? Northern Colorado, Northern Arizona. Just some small D1s, but football's football. That's really it.
It really was kind of like being re-recruited, like you were in high school, like you were coming out of junior college. Like it really was like a re-recruitment.
Yeah, basically. Some people be I can't say all that, but it was basically.
Some
like
people
that.
offer money, yeah. Some people offer money.
No, it was that too, but it was
And
something
NIL
deeper than
deals.
that I can't
NIL
really say
deals.
because I'm gonna get people in trouble. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I beyond contrary believe like what you said about you like are in Provo and you end up in Honolulu. So if you enter the transfer portal with it being able to come in January, it's like that. So like remember, like I entered the transfer portal. Okay, we ended our game on Saturday. I asked to go into the transfer portal on Monday after our last game. There's 18 of us that asked to enter the transfer portal. So the process took a little bit longer because we had to go through the whole compliance thing. And so I was in the portal like 2 days later. we had a couple guys that it was like December 10th, and then they had to be on campus like January 3rd if they graduated. So like those types of guys, boom, didn't take any visits because you weren't allowed to take any visits, and then decided to go somewhere. Like for me, I think like maybe like 20 minutes after I had hopped in the portal, like Iowa State was like, I'm flying down to come see you, like blah blah blah. Purdue hit me up. Illinois, they all offered me within like 2 or 3 minutes being within the portal. And then like some pretty big monster schools wanted me to come there, but they're like, we want you to come in January. And I was like, there would be no point in me to ever leave without getting my degree from Vanderbilt. And so those schools are like, oh, okay, you can't come by. And they just moved on to the next candidate down the list. So like the people that are just like Chris is saying, just trying to replace other guys will come and just be like, hey, can you come in here as fast as possible? And those are the schools that you can kind of look at that aren't particularly looking for you to come and make an impact. They're looking for you to come and fill a roster spot of
Fill
somebody
numbers,
else that somebody left, especially those teams in January. Unless you're a high commodity, like you played at Alabama for 3 years and like you just don't like it there anymore, so you want to go, you want to leave, right? But the people that like I really respect were the people that like the Iowa States and the Illinois are like, we understand you need to graduate. Like, we wouldn't want you to leave without graduating at any point. So, like, if you want to come here, you're always more than welcome to come here. It's just, like, annoying the people that are like, yeah, we're just looking. Like, I don't know if this happened to you, but, like, some places are like, yeah, we're just trying to see, like, we're contacting you right now, but we're just trying to see, like, which guys are about to enter before we first officially can offer you, whatever the case is. Like, happened to a lot of my boys like that. I feel, like, sorry for because they're like, I don't know where I'm going because these places are telling me, like, I'm not sure yet. And sometimes that's like hard. And we had a couple people that I know that are still in the portal to this day, and I don't know will play football, but there's a couple of dudes that I didn't even know got picked up and they're like D2 now, which is wild. And it kind of sucks, but at the end of the day I'm happy that they're still playing football.
In basketball it's even more crazy because it's something like 70% leave a scholarship roster position and don't find another one. Like 70%.
Because there's only 12 spots and there's so many guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of not just Chris. In a lot of ways, you were lucky. Gabe, obviously, you were very lucky as well, being able to go transfer D1 to D1. There's been a lot of transferring down in the age of the portal, going D1 to D2, even D1 to NAIA in some cases, D1 to junior college if you're young enough. A couple basketball players I know kind of got caught in the portal, and they had to sort of reset their career, going in the transfer portal, and then they couldn't really get picked up anywhere right away, so they just went and they played a year of JUCO ball, and most of them they've kind of wound back up eventually, but it does kind of reset your entire mentality.
Yeah, it's a journey
in a lot of ways. Yeah,
it's definitely a journey. It's a lot of things that go on
You gotta
in football.
have faith.
You gotta have faith for one, because I mean, even when you get to the next level, I feel like that's kind of how it is too. Like, you can get cut at any moment, and you really just gotta have faith and really just keep working. Like, you can't really let stuff like that affect. I mean, like I said, I'm not in the league, but I've seen players and I know players that's been cut and they had to wait and just keep working on until they got picked up.
Neil's in that spot right now, right? Like, I talked with Neil pretty recently. Like,
oh yeah,
they told him, hey, be ready, because a lot of guys get hurt in weeks 8, 9, and 10, and you'll get a call. Like, you live in limbo. You just have to have faith, keep working, stay in shape, stay sharp.
Yeah, I heard it's like really the 3-year like buffer zone. Like, if you can make it through that 3-year buffer zone, like they'll start just signing you. Like, even like they'll like you probably won't really play, but you've made it past the rookie contract. But the NFL tries to get as many people out before 3 years, because then after the 4th year they have to start paying you the pension. So if they can get you out before the 4 years happens, then it's good. So sometimes, like what I've been told by a lot of guys that play, if you're going to get picked up in the 6th or 7th round, you can always decline to get picked up in the 6th or 7th round, like just not answer the phone, and most places won't draft you if you don't answer the phone, right? And then sign a free agent deal. And you can contract for 3 years, because then your second contract has to be way bigger. But a lot of guys that are drafted in the rounds have 4-year contracts, which then bind you to another year. And if you don't do good in that year, then your career is kind of over.
yeah.
Chris, this is mostly for Chris, but Gabe, you can jump in too, as well. What was the reaction of your teammates like when you came back to BYU after going through all of this, jumping in the portal, committing to Hawaii? Things were going well there until all of a sudden they weren't. for academic reasons and whatnot. So you come back to BYU. What was kind of the reaction of your teammates like when you came back?
A lot of them said that they missed me. To be honest, like the receivers, because I think I brought a certain type of like energy and like towards the receiver room. Like I've been with the receivers for like 2 years already, so like we all got like a certain bond. It was a couple guys who cracked some jokes. I think it was like one, and I really didn't care.
Not to name anybody, but Mason.
No, it wasn't.
Mason's a jokester. That's pure jokester. That wasn't bad.
Yeah, I
pure
wouldn't be
jokester.
surprised. I wouldn't look bad. I probably ignored it. It was a couple guys, but at the end of the day,
Mason
like,
likes to make jokes. That's all. I'm not saying anything bad about Mason.
I mean, it's like they weren't really mad. I don't think they were mad at me. I'm pretty sure like everybody understands how this works. I mean, multiple people hit the transfer portal, and there's reasons behind it. At the end of the day, it's like, put it this way. I hate to say it, but if a coach was offered a certain amount of money, they'll leave too. Put it there. I'm just gonna say it.
Lincoln Riley.
If a coach is offered a certain amount of money, they're gonna do what they have to do for their families.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, it's like, okay, I may love coaching here, but I got a family, and if this school's offering me more money and this is a better place to live, they're gonna take it. So it's really, like I said, you got to do what's best for you. And I felt like at the time that was best for me. I mean, God redirected me, and I'm just following him. Whatever he's putting me through, it has to be teaching me some or turning me into what he needs me to be. So that's kind of how I look at it. But as far as my teammates, I'm pretty sure like they would tell me like the room is not the same without you. Like I would talk to them, they'd be like, yeah, the room is like different now. And yeah, so when I came back, it seemed like they was pretty cool with it.
Gabe, how'd Chris fit back into the room when he got back in? Is he telling us the truth?
I have no. I couldn't even.
I was in the receiver room first. That's why.
Yeah,
I had just met him.
So I have no clue.
I mean, just with the team, how do you fit back in with the team though? Like,
I didn't even. If I had to be honest, I didn't. Or okay, I had met Chris like, and you're supposed to leave to Hawaii like 2 days after that or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
waiting.
yeah, and they're like, oh, Chris is coming back, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like I didn't really know much of a difference. So I hadn't met the team yet, so I only knew Chris on the team. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it was not much different to me.
I think that speaks to character right there. Right there.
Yeah,
For
I got
sure.
a question. Go back to fall ball, and it's one-on-ones, and it's Chris versus Gabe.
Never happened.
I never went
You
against
guys
him.
have never done
Never
one-on-ones?
I couldn't do fall camp.
He wasn't allowed to do full
Oh,
camp.
that's right.
Never happened.
That's right.
I went against everybody else though.
Yeah, he has gone against everybody else except for me.
I went against everybody else.
Yeah.
You gotta ask them about it. They'll tell you.
I'll have to ask him. Dang it, man. I thought it was going to be an epic question and see you guys try and figure out how to answer that.
You can talk to Caleb. I went against him a couple of times before I moved over to the dark side. He knows. I hope he sees this too. He knows. He probably gonna come at me tomorrow.
Caleb Hayes, next week. Your rebuttal awaits.
Well, I guess we're good, huh?
All right, yeah. Do you want to listen a quick shout out to our sponsors again? Shout out Chubbies. As again, go support them. Check them out. Support the people who support the Cougars. Miracle Bowl. It's getting cold. Get in there. Get your bowling on. They got great pizza. They got burgers. Chris and I, we did lunch there one time, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Solid place, right? Solid pizza. Chris's favorite is pepperoni and pineapple.
Yep.
Go check it out at Miracle Bowl.
Pineapple lovers, by the way. I'm with you.
Gabe, you
I'm
hear
real
that?
good. Some people
Pepperoni
don't
and
like it.
pineapple.
It's kind of strange. Some people don't like pineapple on pizza. I don't understand.
We had a little rant.
I don't need it. We don't need this anymore.
Yeah, it's all settled.
We won't go there.
Hey,
We won't
Chris ain't allowed to come back and we hear with that.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Like Stephen A. Smith would say,
That's crazy.
ridiculous.
And we want to shout out Carrick Home Design, doing a lot, kind of newer with us, but they're doing a lot to support the players. Appreciate them. And, of course, SaveDamien.com. Go check them out. Support the Markham family. Awesome people. Damien's a great kid. And go to CougConnect.com. Become a subscriber so we can pay these guys, more to do these kind of things. Support them more. Get them more opportunities. That's it. Coug Connect is out.